Now, let's talk about the benefits of being certified as an entity. And before we go to the benefits, perhaps it suffices to say, for you to go for product certification or for system certification, there are certain conditions that must be met. We will talk about those conditions as we continue. So just keep that at the back of your mind so that we can be able to address those. When we talk about the benefits of certification, certification enables SMMEs and bigger entities to clearly state their objectives and to identify new business opportunities. Now, when we talk about objectives, every entity, just like us as individuals, many of the individuals, when it gets into the new year, they come up with New Year resolutions. And when you get into December, you then ask yourself, have I met all my resolutions? Those are objectives in a nutshell. Businesses must have clearly defined objectives. And once you've got those clearly defined objectives, as a business, you continually measure yourself against your objectives. Are we living in accordance to our objectives? Are we meeting our objectives? And if we are meeting our objectives, there are clear indications that you are meeting, such as satisfied clients, delivering your products on time, or providing a service on time. That simply says your objectives are working as an entity. You also are going to meet your statutory, regulatory, and customer requirements. SMMEs are producing detergents from home. I will harp on this quite continuously so, purely because I know that we've got a lot of SMMEs producing detergents. We've got SMMEs supported by the Department of Social Development that are producing toilet papers, and they are also producing those at home. And because you're producing these products at home, you're not really meeting the statutory and the regulatory requirements. In the event of fire, your products can fuel fire even more. That is why as SABS, when you say you are applying for certification, we say, no, we cannot assist you while you're working at home, but we can always provide you with the testing services. We test your product. We want to see whether you are in line with the relevant standards or you're not. Once you've tested your product, you get a test report. Does it mean you comply? No, you don't comply. It is only the product that has been tested that qualifies. Those that are at home do not qualify. Why so? Purely because you might bring a Rolls Royce to us, and yet the product that is at home is of a substandard. So if we say your product complies, we might be misleading the general public. Customer retention is one of the benefits. If you've got defined processes, you've got your policies, you've got your mission statement, you've got your vision, you've got your strategic focus areas, you've got your policies and procedures, it therefore becomes easy to measure your input versus the output, because you are able to measure the process between the input and the output and making sure that the output is as per the client's requirements. Therefore, you are able to retain clients. The way you treat clients, the way you respond to client requirements. Last week I was at my cousin's wedding, and what touched my heart is the fact that they gave an SMME some business to put together their traditional garments. I can safely tell you now that on the day of the wedding, the garments were not ready. Those of you who watch My Perfect Wedding, you would concur with me that many a times those who are showcased in that world stage, many a times they disappoint, purely because there are no controls in place. There are no resources that can assist you in ensuring that you produce a quality product right on time. Now, we also talk about access to new markets. If you are able to produce products, quality products, people from afar will come and support you purely because they've heard about your products. They've heard about the service that you're rendering. And therefore, it becomes easier for you to attract new markets. And there's also going to be that increased productivity and efficiency purely because you've got monitoring mechanisms. Last week I was talking to SMMEs in Limpopo, SMMEs that are in the fashion industry. They're producing garments, they're producing clothes. Many a times you'd realize that when you walk around in their facilities, you'll find women and guys having their measuring tapes. Many a times those measuring tapes are around their neck. And because they are busy miling around their factory floor, you'll find them holding on to this particular measuring tapes. And by so doing, it therefore impacts on the credibility of the product that's going to be produced. Because if they were supposed to produce a small, that small becomes a medium, purely because of the readings that are coming from that measuring tape, which is now more stretched, which is no longer accurate, purely because of the way it is being handled. You look at the way they cut their material. Some, you'll find them having a whole lot of cuts. And because of cuts, they would tell you that they are busy working, they are busy. And many of cuts, a high volume of cuts, simply says you are not accurate in the manner in which you cut your material. There's a whole lot of wastage. So you need to come up with controls. You need to train your personnel. How do we cut material? How do we ensure that we are precise in our cutting and therefore it results to limited offcuts? And once you've got those limited offcuts, what do you do with those? We'll see about ISO 14001, which is about the environment. How do you manage the environment that you're working in? Risk management is one of the benefits of being certified as an entity. Do you manage your risks? Do you know your risks? Have you identified the risks in your business? And once you have identified your risks, do you communicate your risks to the relevant stakeholders? That's part of being efficient in the manner in which you are having or you are driving your business.